Hello everybody, it is Ebontis, and in this video today I want to cover Operation Seraph Shield, which is going to get you Revision 0. Pretty solid exotic pulse rifle. It's got an alternate fire that kind of hits like a sniper rifle, and it's just a cool mission first off, and secondly it's a cool weapon. So it's definitely one, if you didn't experience it, you should. But two, the Season 19 rewards are massive, and two of them are something I use all the time. So Season 19 has the Iclos SMG. Definitely a hugely popular weapon that I don't think I can recommend to enough people. Obviously, mine's level 180. I use that a little bit. Retrofit Escapade is another one you can get in here. Both of those are Season 19 weapons, and I cannot recommend you run this enough. If you never got to craft either of those two, then please spend some time in here because it's going to be worth it. Priority probably is going to be this one because there are some Void heavy machine guns, depending on what you have and haven't unlocked. As for an ARC SMG, I honestly can't think of a better one. Volt Shot is still too damn good. I am running Arbalist. This is literally part of an intro quest now, so I'm going to kind of use this a bit more freely in some of my guides because a lot of you do have access to it. I am going to go a little ranged on the scout rifle, though. There's a lot of things you can plink at range. There's a lot of arc shields in here, so this is one that kind of works for me. I thought about doing something like my Glissando, also a pretty fun one to use, but this one's not bad, gets a little Volt Shot still going. And then to show you how it works, I figured I'd use the Retrofit Escapade. I am running Solar, kind of bonk build, Ember of Solace, Torches, Empyrean, Ashes, Soul Invictus. Trying not to lean too hard on the bonk hammer, but if I need to kind of delete stuff, it's mostly for the super, since that thing's actually fun now. All of that out of the way, though, let's jump in, because on normal difficulty, these exotic missions have really not been too bad. I will come back and do a legend run in future weeks, so you guys get the option to farm for the catalysts. This one is going to have like 4 catalysts. It's also going to have 4 intrinsic traits. So you're going to be spending some time in here if you're trying to farm it anyway, and especially if you miss some of the weapons, then you'll be farming this thing either way. So let's jump in. I'll show you how this thing works. It is a longer mission, though. Definitely longer than Vox Obscura. Probably the longest of the 3 that we have so far. So strap in, and I'll show you how it all works. All right, so when you get started, first thing you've got to do is actually get inside. And if you weren't around for this season, you're going to be kind of running and dodging lasers that are trying to target you. So your goal is always to stay behind cover. So as you run up, you're going to be facing a couple sets of ads on normal difficulty. And this is why scouts are good, honestly, because you are going to be pretty much trying to avoid these things the whole time. If that threat detection hits you, it is definitely going to kind of take you out. Apparently I just leveled up this guy too. Alright, well that'd be a good time to pull out the machine gun, just force of habit on the hammer. But yeah, you'll have Thrall coming up on one side, you'll have those guys over there. Again, as you're pushing up the middle, always trying to get in some cover. Works usually to be between some of these rocks. Seems like I had some Thrall screaming at me, but I wanted to be sure. Particle barrier weapon, that dude just gets deleted. And again, watch the lasers coming at you. Now you will have an ogre sitting up there, so now's probably a good time to... Hi. Who's boomering me? Oh well. Don't even have to worry about everything quite as much. You're going to be having an ogre here, as I said. Any type of grenade will probably work. Just something to kind of give him a quick delete, and you're in. Now there are going to be lasers in here. Hopefully they've toned down the difficulty. You still can dodge them. Kind of had to the first time we ran through this. But I would just be careful how fast you run, especially in this first little section. Because depending on how fast you're running, you can actually kind of be faster than the lasers. So I would just be a little on the careful side. Turn left this way. Slide under this guy, which is nice. Alright, getting to our first little encounter here. Gonna have a few ads. And that's our Splicer guy who's gonna be doing a little of the work. Again, on normal difficulty, these won't be too bad. I mean, if you're doing this at, like, you know, your first mission, it might hurt a little bit. Up here towards the powerful cap, should be okay. So the way this works is your yellow is gonna give you a scanner ability, and then you're gonna see what you can scan. So then you can hack the terminal, and this is basically a preview of how the raid works from Lightfall. It has similar mechanics. You've got your scanner on, hack 3 times. And we're good. Then you just gotta wait for the escape pods to come down, and we are headed, well, a little off the planet's surface for a change.
Guardian, it's time.
Pick one, doesn't really matter which one. Grab a pod, and we are shooting up to space, which is honestly one of the coolest things they did with this entire expansion season release. We're literally going to space. It's kind of awesome. So now we're on a space station. Still a very cool experience.
I can't believe it. You're actually on Seraph station.
Now, I've still got the scanner,
You loud and clear.
so
You should be able to
actually got to put my buff in there. That's going to open the doors, and you've usually got to do that to be able to get through. So again, here you're going to have a few ads.
Let's get moving.
This is why the arc scout rifle is beneficial, because you do have a lot of fallen. You have just a lot of arc shields in places. There's our scanner guy. Make sure you get him. And then again, same thing here. This is why I like anything to chain together or just kill groups quickly. This is why the 900 RPM is pretty good. All right, so once everything is dead and you've got your scanner buff, first scan will be right here. Second one is going to be behind the glass. You can actually see it over there, but you've got to go walk through it. So we're going to go back here. As soon as you walk in here, you're going to have a few ads that spawn in the other room. Actually, it might be when you do the first scan. Either way, they'll be waiting for you when you come back. I don't think we're going to need to do our little secrets that we did before. Yeah, nothing really back there that you're going to do now. That was all part of the previous stuff that we encountered, but I'm not sure you can do that without dying. So, once this one is scanned, we're going to head on back. That was previous seasonal mechanics, less for just the completion of it now. Head on out. So I'll get my machine gun ready. It's a bunch of shanks mostly. Nothing too dramatic there. Grab any ammo before you go. It's nice to stock up when you can. Should be in reasonable shape. Still got your scanner buff. Last one will be right here. So that's your next trio. This guy's always waiting for you. Yeah, it's definitely easier because that was definitely not a one tap before. Again, to open the door, you are going to have to use your augmentation terminal. There were so many secrets throughout this mission that were pretty cool, but yeah, less of those now. Come up the stairs, next set of ads, you got your scanner here in the middle. A couple of snipers to watch out for, so be careful for those. You love the Volt shot where it can work. Stragglers over here might actually come together. Or we should be in pretty good shape. Alright, grab our scanner buff, grab our ammo. I would leave that heavy brick there actually and just like have fun with your heavy for a little while. What we're gonna do is you gotta find your scanner terminal. So the first one's gonna be over here. So from when you come in, just come over here to the left. Second one is gonna be a little bit farther away, but you got a few ads coming for you. Trying to make sure. It has been a minute since I've done this, so I don't want to send you guys the wrong direction. But you're gonna go up here. Has been a minute though. You know, when you land, I've jumped some of these little laser beams before, but not really worth it to force this stuff. You feel like you can, like, you know, manage your way through them with a sword or whatever. I've seen some tricks. I'm just going for the very simple completion right now though. So that's two, and then gonna have some stuff going on outside. Once you do actually hit the switch though, all the lasers are going to be down, so that's not nearly as dramatic. Now, before you deposit your buff, you want to look here, because you can tell you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 terminals. Mine is the second one. It's going to be a little random. You want to remember whatever, you know, position it's in, because we're going to go in that room and have to activate the right one. So we're going to use the terminal to open the door, come through here. You're going to have to hit the right switch. So remember when I said there were 4? I've got to hit the 4th switch. There you go. That one is complete. We're going to come back outside. Now again, as I said, if you want to save your ammo, you can. But you're going to have some stuff coming at you in here. You're also going to have some turrets. So I just like melting these guys down a little earlier, and then I'll go refill my ammo later. Turrets are weird when it comes to damage, apparently. Like, sometimes I feel like it's hitting, sometimes it's not counting. You've got some more turrets above, too. So literally try and take out everything you can, whatever your heavy is. If it's in use for that, at least. You don't have to go all the way up. But I know I can at least refill my ammo, so I may as well just do it. That's why it's like there are times when I'll tell you to be liberal with your heavy. This is usually the reason, is because there's a giant heavy box waiting for you to fill you up. Alright, if you cleared everything in here, you'll have, from about the ground floor, you'll have 1, maybe 2 more turrets left over. Gotta find them. If you get up to here, there shouldn't be much. There should be 1 right up here, but if you jump behind the box, you'll be out of line of sight. And you should be good. Alright, now when you get in here, you definitely will not be alone. That's going to be your scanner. Plenty more ads down there, though. Trying to figure out who's where. And again, try and watch your cover. You're going to have some vandals, some snipers, stuff across the way trying to take you out, so just be careful. If you need to crouch, use the stairs a little bit as cover. It might not hurt. Laser sights, you got some fun captain work going on down here. Bunch of shanks. Just trying to eliminate everything in a safe fashion up here, so you guys have the option to do the same. Alright, so our scanner buff will be hanging out over here. Check and make sure you've got everything pretty clear. Should be good at this point. Now what you're looking for is the position of the glowing terminal. So on the left hand side, I've got the middle one. In the back wall, I've got the right one. And then on the right wall, I've got the left one. So basically, for me, when I say it in my head, I'll go middle, right, left, because that's the order you're going to access them. So middle, right, left. So now what we're going to do is hop down, make sure nothing else wants to kill you, which there's probably one that does. Cool. That should be everything. So remember, it's middle, right, left. For my run, you need to make sure you remember yours, because it is different every single time. You'll come in here, always going to be different. Now the way this works is I've got my scanner, so I can see the floor and the path. And that's one thing. You can even come over here if you want to get a chance to learn the pathing. This is what you're going to do. You're going to come in and go left over here. And you're going to follow the path. Now I've done this enough, I pretty much know it by heart. But you're going to want to understand where the path is and what you can get to. Like if I need to get to that one over there, there is one available, but then I'll come back. Then I'll go over here. Got some options there, and then come over here. When you get all 3 terminals marked, then you should be good. So mine is middle, right, left. And those are the ones I've got to get to, and this is the pattern on your floor. So if you want to bring it up, maybe if you want to pause it so you can see where you need to go, leave it on screen literally while you're doing the activity. I'll leave it here for a couple seconds for you guys, and then I'll show you the walkthrough. And it's no big deal if you die, you just come back in here and try it again. So as soon as you go through, it's gone. So we're going to go over here. You can go up to this one. You got to leave a gap for 2. Go up and then crouch under. You can crouch. Come on up to this set of terminals here. Now mine is middle. So I'm going to hit this one. If you need to get over there, you are going to have to hop over. Now for this set. Yep, and that's what happens if you die. May as well show you. Alright, I'll show you when I'm alive again. Alright, so once like you feel you're comfortable with the pathing, and then also make sure if you need to check before you go in, which ones are the ones you've got to get. So again, I already got one. I've got right and then left. Crouch under this one. It's just usually easier to crouch. This one I always have to hop. Make sure you're on the proper side. Alright, so you got right. And then here, you're going to have to hop again. Don't go too far. Walk on up. Then now I'm going to have the left terminal. So, I probably showed you guys one death in there. May have cut out another. But again, it is not that dramatic if you die in here, unless you're just going for a solo flawless run, which I don't even know if the triumphs are available. But once you are done with that, we're going to have our other new mechanic. It's going to be the key guy over there. And this guy will be a little bigger, so if this is a time where you feel like you want to pop your super or a bigger shot, you can. I feel like we got some like lag right now, which is a little odd. Alright, so you have your new one. This is going to be the operator. Reveals the active control panel, which can be shot. So, face the door, shoot the control panel. That's what you got to do. So in here, you're going to be dealing with some hive this time. Going to have some that spawn back here. Look for those. You're also going to be dealing with some shrinkers in the other room, so make sure you're careful about those. You'll have some enemies in this room. We will come back to those. Don't worry about them. So from your entrance, you're going to be looking to your left. And in this room, you're going to see a little switch tucked around here. Got to shoot it between the actual beams. So again, if you can get your line of sight, but you typically have to get in here far enough to be able to actually shoot that. That will open your next door. You're going to have some buddies joining you here. They go down pretty quick. Here's your shriekers. And you'll have a few more that spawn in here. Wait for them to spawn. Curse thralls. If you don't get too close, they won't charge you, but if they go all in at you, it gets to be a little spicy. And again, slide in here. Follow your little ducting. Now from here, what you're going to have access to, one, you can actually shoot these guys. So it's kind of a fun way to take them out before you get into that room. You don't have to, but you can through that little window. But from here, I can shoot that one. And that opens the ventilation on the other side. So I actually have to backtrack a little bit. Can be met by a few more ads. Remember, these guys all come out of here. Grab any ammo they're dropping. This ventilation is now open. Just be careful what's in here. You'll have some ads that spawn in the other room. Trying not to use my abilities, so feel free to use yours. I'm just trying to kind of not. You're going to have to get close enough to this window and crouch to shoot the next terminal. And that will open up just about everything that we need. Going to be met by a few more ads out here. Maybe not. Been so long since I've run this, I kind of forget where some of them spawn, but mostly the same so far. I don't think there's any drastic difference besides normal. Definitely feels easier than it used to be. But again, if you struggle with this, don't worry. First time I came in here, this was a lot to take in. It takes a little bit to know where everything's at, but once you do, it's quite manageable. Alright, so in here, you're going to have actually a turret on the ceiling you got to watch out for. That guy. Going to be dealing with a few guys back there. Again, this is why arc is a good thing to be able to manage. Just because the arc shields. I have solar just because I'm enjoying my super, but whatever works. So here's another fallen security guy and another turret. Ah, I forgot the one over here. Yeah, those parts kind of shot right out. There we go. All right, you got to make sure this thing drops because this key card is going to allow you to proceed forward. You're going to have some stuff that spawns in. Small stuff, not a big worry.
We've hit a dead end.
Should be pretty
I
good.
can't
Now I've got our
bypass
operator
security,
buff that we're going to go ahead
I
and
think I have an idea. Play along.
dunk in.
You need to surrender to House Salvation. One of Aramis's captains has put an order to
So we
bring
literally
you in
go through all
alive
of what
so
we're
that
about
you
to
can
do, and then
present
we're going to
her
give
as
up,
a
but it's so we
trophy.
can get onto
Make
the
some
ship that we need to
noise
get
draw their
onto. That's kind of the
attention.
whole
It'll
point.
help sell the bluff.
So if you don't
She's
need
here?
this buff right now,
Of course.
don't
Must
use
be
it.
how Xivu Urab
So save your
plans
heavy
on
ammo
co-opting
there.
the
You're going to get a
Warsat
rally
network.
flag right here anyway.
The Hive can't do it on their own, so the Witness
Well, that's
sent
pretty
Aramis
optional,
and her
but
splicers
I may as well
in
do
to
it now
assist.
because you won't be able to later on. And then as soon as you kind of run around in this room, that'll usually start your encounter. So usually I like to hide behind this side over here. Now that guy's going to be immune. Somebody will be dealing with a little later. You got a lot of ads in here. This is one for... This is quantity over quality. So you got a lot of little stuff in here, but you can get overrun if you're not paying attention. So be careful on your angles. Clear out some of the ads that are around. And what you're looking to is just do enough damage to kind of tick him off. Alright, so when he gets his shield up, it gets to be a bit spicier. There's the fun. So you got a bunch of these big guys. So this is where you do want something that's fairly powerful. Alright, so at this point you are going to be looking at some wretch that will come at you. Having some way just to defend up close will definitely be beneficial. So look for those coming both sides. That's why something like Volt Shot to clear what's around you, a grenade, a well, any and all of that type of stuff. Look for the sniper guys above. And again, use your cover. You're going to have the main guy in the middle. I like to take him out first just so I've got some flexibility. Going to have some ads across the side over there. Now here, similar principle. Depending on what you can set up. I did Volt Shot him, so that's going to hurt him a little bit. Notice the sniper above. Watch this guy. He is not a fan of what I'm doing to him. I'm just trying to get Volt Shot on him to take him down. But again, if I can, be careful. Like, play your cover. And again, you get a lot of guys on you here. Apply machine gun here for all the ads. But again, if he goes in the air, you're going to want to hide or take him out quick. You do not want those guys going vertical. All right, we've got a lot of it cleared now. We can work on some of the smaller guys. Look for, again, the snipes in the corners here. I saw him coming. But again, that Volt Shot, and these guys don't really stop. So you are going to have to find a way to manage whatever you're doing. And having group clearing abilities is really, really good. An incandescent, having a well under your feet, all of that stuff just to cover, especially when you get up to higher difficulty, cover the stuff you don't see coming. Because while you do have a radar, I'm half the time aim down sights trying to work on stuff. Doesn't always work. Come on. There we go. Alright, so final guys over here. This is your focus again. So if you got enough ammo. Trying not to use my hammer a lot, but I may as well use my abilities every so often. Now again, you've got a ways until you get to like a boss encounter, but that's why Retrofit Escapade is so good. It just melts damn near everything you throw at it too. Then once he's down, all you got to deal with is just the remaining ads, which really not too bad. Then if you see engineering sector come up, that means you actually get a little break, so you could run around and look for some ammo. You'll have a few more ads. They'll become another doorway, but depending on what ammo you've got, they really won't be that big of a deal. Now, if you're good on ammo, you obviously don't need to pick that up. But if you save it for later, then you've got a lot of heavy ammo going forward, and there's stuff you're still going to need to shoot. So grab ammo if you need it. If you don't, you're good. Proceed through this doorway. It's so weird to do all of this with, like, without all of the secret stuff that I'm talking about in the same time. But still, I'm glad people get to experience these missions. It's a good thing. So we're going to go down here, and you're actually going to surrender for a hot second. Not long. It's not a big deal. Take a second for that to open. You're going to walk in, and can't do anything to those guys, but you can give up. So surrender. Give up your weapons. Get a little third-person action.
I cannot believe they fell for that. Transmat access acquired. Weapons incoming. Neutralize the crew and get to the front of the catch.
Alright, so now that you're actually on board, you're going to get sent your weapons, so you're back in control here. Take care of these guys. Kind of the prison guards, and then just start clearing out everything. And you can stay back here, as a lot of stuff should be easy to pick off from range. This is, again, one of the reasons I told you to bring a scout rifle. Whatever you want to use that's ranged, but just what this thing can... You can sit back here, an ARC scout rifle, and just do a ton of work. It actually is kind of impressive. Now, if you can gain ship access, you can bring out the Braytech security frames to help you. And then they can help you clear all the ads that you haven't taken care of yet. Make this whole process a lot smoother. That should be about it. Now, coming up, you're going to have a lot of turrets. And then we're going to go outside. So in this section, however you melt turrets, whether it's rockets, whether it's machine guns, this is your time. And that's one of the reasons you want to make sure you have heavy, because you've got a few sets of these. You just want to make sure they're not an issue. I think it's just 2 and 2. Alright. So now you get one of the cooler points.
You're going to need to jump carefully to get back down to the station.
The sound of space is also muffled, which is cool, but also just the look from up here. This is obviously Traveler doing its thing. But what you're looking for is this little guy right down there. So, jump and aim. And if you fall here, it's not that big of a deal. But the angle of this thing kind of helps. And it's reasonable on the fall. Next one we're going to is down here. Now, you'll notice the big rotating platforms. You wouldn't think you'd run into them, but believe me, I have, so watch your timing as you make some of these jumps. So if, like, vertigo is not your thing, this could be a bit rough of a mission, but just a little patience. Now, if you want to fall down, you're going for that over there. So you're going to want to fall under this, like, block here, and then catch your fall to get yourself over here. Alright. That's most of the hard part. But again, remember the rotations I was talking about? You want to make sure you check where the actual giant rotations are at. You're also going to have a lot of ads that come into play here. Some farther away, like these shanks. I love taking these things out early if I can. You're going to have some knights hanging out outside. Sound is just muffled. We're in space. I actually really like how they handle the effect here. Got a little mine on the ground over there. Same thing. Bit of a long jump. See ya! Well, that's a fun one for the video footage. He's just like, nope, I don't want to fight that guy. It's too good. I'm going to give up my life, and that Guardian can win. What he was thinking, he's just like, nope. No more for me. Alright, so we're going to have our knight over here. Now, here's where you're going to have a few snipers trying to pick you off. So these are the tracer shanks. So the ones I killed earlier, if you don't pick them off far away, they will be doing the same thing they're doing right there. Now you can kill this Revenant right here if you got the range to do it. It's not a big deal if you don't do it now. You'll do it when you get a little closer. Just one less thing trying to kill you. Now here is again one of those points where you want to watch the rotation. Kind of like that. If you don't time it right, you will get smacked in the head. So here you got to pick up your operator buff again. I got a little fallen mine.
There's a cargo bay up ahead. You can get back inside there.
Now, when you get out to this section, may not be the most obvious what to do, but what you need to do is actually shoot these operator terminals. So you got one here, and then one here. Those should be your 3. All your little maintenance ladders are extended. And notice you're going to start seeing some of these guys coming at you. So be careful. There is 3 of them. That one was sneaking around the back. But as soon as you start these 3 shots, those things are going to be coming at you. So if you're not just like, you don't know exactly where to shoot everything, and you got to take it a little slower, be aware of the exploder shanks. Now, when we head up that direction, we should see another ship. And up there, the ship is going to be bringing some more shanks. So if you want to take them out farther away, you can. But if you want to get up there faster, you can do that too. That was almost a sketchy jump. So you're going to be dealing with those guys and also the shanks. So I was just trying to eliminate the issue. Bracer. Still got a couple more back there. This is probably the harder part that I've been caught off guard in. Whether it's a sniper, whether it's a boomer, or a combination thereof. See ammo. But we are nearly done with the outside section. We're just going to jump our way up to the entrance to this bay area. And we're basically good. Now when you get inside, pick a side and just go hide on this edge. Makes your life a little easier because you're going to have some ogres. You just start plinking these guys from the side. You should be able to find one of the 2 ogres without getting too much going on. You just want to delete them. That makes life a little easier. Alright, and when you get far enough inside, your sound should also go back to normal. Grab any more ammo that I've got. I'm going to reload. I'm going to have 2 guys up here. They're not so bad. They're just a couple of knights hanging behind glass. Up for getting deleted. And again, if you need heavy ammo, you got it right here waiting for you. So in case you use the lot outside, you're still good. It does a pretty good job about keeping you stocked up. Got to deposit your buff again. It's going to open your door. Now you're going to get a pretty chunky fight in here. So now is a point where if you don't have a super, just hang out and wait. But make sure everything is reloaded. Make sure you're good on everything. And if you really want to smash this next room, super is a very good way to do it. A high damage super right here will kind of save you. We're going to run on in. You should spawn. But that big super should be able to cook him pretty fast. It's the same guy you saw earlier. But that's why. Because as soon as you nuke him, a lot of stuff despawns. So that is why high damage super is worth it just for that alone. You don't need to go back that way. That's where all the secret stuff was. Alright, so now we're going to have another room of like switches and terminals and... Can I shoot you in the toe? See? Volt shot. Nothing else really does that. Can I shoot him in the toe? I can. Come on. Alright, so again, we gotta go pick up our buff. Now, when you get your operator buff, you gotta go and you're gonna have switches on 2 sides. You got this one. And this one. Doesn't really matter. It's gonna open both sides. You're gonna have some ads coming out. And when those switches open, you're also gonna have exploder shanks coming in. So that's one of those times it's a real good idea to turn around and be ready for them. Now, they usually will all explode together right here. But just be ready for them. When you hit both of those switches and the doors open, all those ads will spawn pretty quick. So just be aware that they're not far away. Now, before you pick up your buff, you might want to clear everything out just to be sure you don't have anything else to do, like hit a switch or anything. But we should be pretty good at this point. And you know, if you really wanted to run back for heavy ammo and you hadn't picked it up yet, you could still do that too. So we're going to pick up our operator over here. No, you actually got to dunk your buff. I'm sorry. Now we're getting to the point where you got to dunk your operator and then get your scanner. We're going to hit this scanner. This is when you start swapping buffs back and forth. Scan this terminal in here. Then your door will open. Gonna have a decent amount of adds in here, so play safe from cover. Don't have to rush anything in here. Except when they run away, of course. You'll have a few adds around the corner. Watch for the shanks. Watch for, again, the vertical turrets. They're really trying to catch you off guard. Oh, come on. He's right there. There we go. The roof turret goes down pretty quick. Alright, so once again, you've got to deposit your buff. I don't think you can scan anything quite yet. You'll do this in the right order. Deposit the scan. Got to pick up your operator buff. Operator buff is going to let you shoot this switch. Still a lot of adds over here. A lot of shanks coming though too. They spawn from over there in case you're wondering. Now that we've got everything open, we've got to go back and turn around and deposit the operator buff, and we're going to go get the scanner that's in that room now. Takes a little bit of practice, but once you get to farming this one, it is not too bad. Once you've got your scanner buff, you're going to scan this guy over here. And that will bring more adds your way. But it's also going to involve this thing. Now your lift should be good. Now's a good time to reload, check any ammo spots. It's going to be a bit of a teleporter here. Alright, should be ready to jump in. And then you're just going to have a few adds here. So if you got a grenade, probably a good time for it. And again, remember to open the door. We're always depositing. This will be the last little buff. This is like the final tease, so you know how to do the raid. So what you're going to need to do is kill this guy. And that's a suppressor. And what you need to do is stand in these fields. And you need to actually shoot him. So that's one. Just stand in this field over here. And again, it's going to give you the descriptions of what to do. But this is just so you can see it in action. So that's all three of the buffs. Come in here. That's going to actually break his shield. Then you can nuke him. Once that's done, you will deposit, and you should be on your last little segment here. But again, I left that suppressor augment on screen. Stand under each of Clovis' drones while damaging the highlighted combatant. Once all have been damaged, shield drones will be revealed that can be destroyed. So that's kind of how that process works. That is going to be the boss room. So this is kind of your little final check. You will have a heavy crate in there. But if you don't need to pick it up now, like you're half full, you're going to have time later to use it. My advice is save it if you can, because you've also got this rally flag here. So you got rally. Don't pick up that until you're basically empty on ammo and save it for later. Now we're going to kind of put things together in the boss fight. So when you come in, typically what I will do is just try and find a reasonable position.
I know that score. He's one of Aramis's lieutenants, but he died on Europa.
His name was Praxis, and you killed him. The witness has returned him to us. As it will return all elixirs.
That's why fourth times is really good. So this is where you're going to get a lot of adds coming your way. So this is where almost switching weapons to something like a fusion rifle would be advantageous, but I'm going to try and stick with what I got. Hopefully I just get enough ammo to make this worthwhile. These things will be dying pretty quick. I'm also trying not to use my abilities that much because I don't want to like crutch on my hammer. I'd clear most of these guys out with a hammer. But yeah, retrofit escapade, tons of use. So again, you're trying to break his shield down. So my grenade, I think, sent him into... Yep, grenade is in damage phase. And yeah, you got to kill your snipers in the middle, and you got to find your suppressor buff. All right, so now that we have our suppressor buff, you're going to be dealing with these guys up top. Again, with the suppressor, you got to shoot him just a little bit, so that's one activation. Look for the chieftain. This is going to be your second one if I can get an angle on him. That's the second. And again, trying to use that as little as I can. But basically, at this point, I need to shoot him, break the suppression, make sure I don't get frozen. Now, I will use my super on him for damage, because that's the whole point of this thing. Did I miss one? Oh, ha! I was way early. Yeah, don't do that so early. All right, so once those are down, now you got to go break the shields. You guys are seeing all the wrong ways to do this. Your shields are on opposite sides. So you got one here. You're going to have one way across the way. Watch for his little stasis grenades. They can definitely slow you down, obviously. Well, that wasn't the way I wanted to do that encounter, but it's an example of what not to do, which sometimes I got to show you. So now, depending on where he's walking around to, pop him in the head a few times. And again, you do get a lot of ads. The machine gun really does help me a lot here. This is also why resistance to just a little bit of everything is actually a good idea. Alright, so we gotta get our suppressor buff again. It's one of these two snipers in the middle is the one that'll have it. And kill the snipers. They're probably the guys in here that hurt the absolute most. Make sure and shoot their little lanterns. It will help. I've got my suppressor buff. So look for your chieftains. Ammo seems to be dropping nicely, so I will take it. So he's across the way. That's one. And again, just play the area that is the most open. If one area looks swamped with ads, then come up to the top and stay up here. Take a second, stay in cover, reload. Probably not going to get my super back, which is less fun, but that's fine. I'll just melt him. And this is why I love this machine gun, though. Why I would tell everybody you want a copy of this thing. Because 4th times, it's also just a boss melter besides an ad clear. So it does both very well. So now is the point where I'm low on ammo. But I can just sit here and refill fully on ammo, clear out all the ads, and then now I gotta go get my shield guys. So once you hit all 3 suppression points, then your shields are gonna be available again. I gotta get a better angle than that, apparently. So one on each side. And then one down in the middle. Not a good time to get frozen, I'll be honest. That's one you want to avoid. Now we're good. So now if my super is up, I can just nuke him, but I'm just going to reload and melt him from here. But again, if you ever need the high points, use these up here as cover. Like, he'll throw grenades up here, but you got plenty of room to stay safe up here. We got a grenade to throw. And again, just my ability to melt him down. Why I would recommend everybody to get this gun.
You need to
Pretty
hurry.
fun.
Inject the virus into that console. House Salvation
Alright,
has
so
more
once
ships
he
than
dies, everything will despawn. And we're going to go ahead and run to this side, and you're going to get your rewards. Now, on normal difficulty, my understanding is that you're going to get the exotic weapon and, you know, basically make it craftable, so you get the pattern out of 1. And then also you're going to get your intrinsic upgrade. And your intrinsic upgrade is going to be this thing right here. It's not the catalyst, it's this guy. So you get, like, whatever that's called, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to upload the Violus. Now, I already have the weapon fully done, so you're not seeing it on my screen, but that's what you should be picking up. For me, I'm just getting the seasonal rewards because this weapon was craftable when we got it. It's not working quite like DMT and stuff. So that is everything for this mission. Obviously, you weren't here for the Season 19 secrets behind laser walls and stuff like that, but you don't have to worry about that now. So that is how you complete Operation Seraph Shield. That's how you do it on normal, and this is what you're going to want to do to farm the weapons from Season 19. Specifically, I mean, this is actually not one in there. This was a previous season. But the Ikelos SMG and Retrofit Escapade, both worth getting craftable patterns of, but it is going to take a lot of farming, I'm sure, due to RNG. So, let's get back to Orbit, and we'll finish the wrap. Alright, so that is the normal difficulty version of Operation Seraph Shield. If you want to do Legend, that is where you're going to go for your Catalysts. And the Catalyst, it doesn't show up for me because I've already got them, probably. But the Catalysts are going to be 4 of them as well. So if you do have, like, you know, people to run this thing with, you don't have to do it solo. I will do a guide later for the Legend version. If you guys are really interested in that this week, I can post it. Just kind of depends. I think everybody's trying to work through normal first if you're newer and missed out on this. So if you did enjoy this, drop a like below, leave a comment if you got any thoughts about builds, anything I may have missed. If you want to find me on Twitch or Twitter, it's Ebontis. If you're new here to the channel and you enjoyed this guide or any of my other variety content, as I'm kind of having fun mixing it up, please hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell, helps my videos make it to you in the world of YouTube. And if you want to go a little extra mile, not required, but always appreciated, you can either be a YouTube member or support me on Patreon. Thank you guys very much. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.